There we go. Yeah, we are live. Hello, hello, hello. We have Song of Soils here with, what was the game again? Taxi Goes Vroom?
Yes, it is Yellow Taxi Go. You want me to
introduce yourself and then you can start your run whenever you want.
Oh, perfect. Okay, I didn't have any questions for me or anything. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Themeathon. I am SongOfSoil, and today I am going to be bringing you Yellow Taxi Go. So I am I'm a variety indie. So I usually only stream of giving these games some spotlight. So a lot of the things that I play usually varied. So this is actually one of those games up not getting a lot of recognition. So huge shout out to the staff for giving me off. So Yellow Taxi is a 3 platformer. It's a love letter to NC. All the way from its soundtrack to the movement to the graphic. So right here, I'm going to actually a showcase before we start the run itself. I'm going to show off some of the movement and some of the tricks, so it's a little bit more understandable as you're watching the run. The run itself is pretty short, so you're going to see me doing a lot of fast stuff, and so to make sure that everybody's kind of up to speed on what's going on. Sound keeps cutting out on mic. Oh, you want to solve that before I keep going, or?
Yeah, if you want, you can solve it. I think it's not on my end. I think.
It looks like my the OBS on this side says everything's good, so I'm not really sure how to fix that one. But anyways, so I'm gonna do a little showcase real quick and explain some of the movement, and then we will get into the run. All right, so right here, I'm going to jump into a completed file, and while we do this, I'm gonna show off some of the things you can do in the game, such as you see on the main menu, my taxi has a Batman symbol on it. You can actually customize your own skins for the game. So if you have like Photoshop or just, paint, you can actually upload the file of the taxi and then kind of do your own decorating. So for this marathon, I decided to choose the Batmobile. So with the Batmobile, I also decided to have the staff send me over the logo for the marathon, and so I added it to the cheat. So when you upload to the cheats, you can actually upload custom logos. So on the TV, you can actually see that you can have a Themeathon hat as you play the game. So you can actually upload anything that you would like as your hat, and you can also decorate your skin. So if I go to photo mode, you can see how it works. So it's actually really cool that you can have full customization of your taxi. So anyways, let me kind of go over some of the things that you can do in this game. So after you collect the first 3 cogs, you will meet your legally distinct Italian creator Mario inside of his home, and he gives you an ability called the Whip-a-Will. Now, the Whip-a-Will allows your vehicle to do stuff like this. So you can dash, you can super dash, you can do backflips, you can do side flips left and right. You can also chain them to do 2 of them in a row. You can do 2 backflips, or you can do a backflip and a side flip. You can do a left side flip with the right side flip, so you have all of those options. You also have what they call air cancels. So when you're in the air, you can actually do a Whip-a-Will and do a dash. You can do a side flip and then do a super dash. Well, if you're in the middle of a dash and you use Whip-a-Will again, you can do what they call an air cancel. You can do another hop in the air like this. So you can cover some huge. So if you go off a ramp, as you can see, I can get a little more extension with that move. Another thing we have is the invincibility spring. It allows you to drive on top of spikes so you don't die. So you can take certain shortcuts or destroy enemies that are in your way. Another move that we have is called the spider climb. And so how that works is if you position yourself at a wall and you launch yourself at it, you can climb up the wall with your front tires and it'll reset your bounces. So you can climb up a wall and then do 2 hops. So pretty much you have the same amount of mobility as you would in Mario 64, with all the side flips, all the hops, the dashes, the dash canceling, wall climbs, and stuff like that. Another thing too is that with the ramps, it's all RNG, and so what I mean by that is the physics are a little bit more like a spaghetti code type thing. So when you hit the ramp, even if you were to hit it the same time every single time, you're gonna get vastly different results. Like sometimes you'll fly super high, sometimes you won't. It just takes a little bit getting used to, but they are not consistent. So it kind of makes the run a little fun because you have to improvise a lot of your movement sometimes. But yeah, so that's just the main movement. I just kind of wanted to get that out of the way so understood what I was doing while I was doing it, because you're going to see me doing a lot of flips and cancel ramps, and there's going to be just a lot to explain. 30-minute. Yeah, that was the little showcase of what you can do. And so with that, I think it's time that we jump into any percent run. So before we start the timer, I'll kind of go over what any percent is real quick. So in an any percent run, your goal is to collect 130 cogs. So you're going to go through 10 levels, you're going to collect 130 cogs, which will unlock the final level where you will take on the final boss. So you are a yellow taxi, or technically we're the Batmobile, and we have been sent on a task by our legally distinct alien creator Morio, and he wants us to go gather this extraterrestrial power supply that was shaped into the form of a cog by the island man named Tosla and Morio's grandmother. And since they have been possessed by this power, your goal is to stop them. Yes, your legally distinct Italian creator. Alright, so with that, we are going to go collect 130 cogs. So if you are ready, I will let you know when time is going to start. So I'll give a countdown, and on go, I will start the run. So, in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, here we go. So at the very beginning of this game, you're going to have Oreo kind of introduce himself, and that was your creator right there. And our goal is to enter this building and slightly turn left so Morio talks to us while we're facing this ramp. And then we have to collect 2 gears to open up the first level. So we're going to drift into this gear so we don't go off the ramp. And the next one is we're going to grab the 3rd gear, and this will open up the first level, which is Morio's home. So I'm going to hit my handbrake again so I can get a quick turn. And we're going to enter into what you guys will notice looks a lot like Sonic. So you're going to see a lot of like the checkered worlds. There's a lot of Easter eggs and a lot of shout-outs to old video games. So just keep your eyes peeled for some of that stuff. So as I explained earlier, once you collect the 3 cogs, you will meet Morio inside of his home, and he'll give you Whip-A-Wheel. And so once you get Whip-A-Wheel, you're going to make your way around the island using the ramps and the techniques that I showed you. I will be doing flips at certain points, so I can hit ramps at certain points. So as you can see right there, I hit that cog, and then I waited till I was directly in front of that ramp, and then I did a Whip-A-Wheel dash straight into it, giving me a lot of air, so I could continue past those 3 islands. Another thing to point out is after you collect enough cogs, you will start to unlock levels. Stated before, there is 10 worlds that you will go through. They're all pretty quick once you actually know what you're looking for, and a lot of the routing, thanks to Killer and Yoda, these levels have been optimized. It's so much fun to play, from what it used to be where nobody could agree on a route, to now they're actually being a solid route. Oops, my bad. I accidentally missed that cog. So this is the inside of Morio's home, and there's a lot of like fake doors and weird passageways. But I've actually found a really good path through here to where you can grab every single cog without really stopping. So as you can see, as I'm getting on top of like certain ledges, I'll be doing backflips and side flips at certain times, so I can make it across these large gaps. Shout out to Yoda right there for finding that little skip. So we used to do a spider climb up the wall, but Yoda found out that if you do a backflip and a side flip, you get just enough air to get on top of the upper level, allowing you to skip over instead of taking the hallway to grab that cog. Coming up here is one of the tricks that I found. It's called super boosting, and you can actually get a large amount of air like that. You can get inside of the gear areas much quicker. So you usually have to take those boosts, and they're a little bit slower. But if you do a spin on top of them and then hit your boost at the same time you're leaping the arrow, the game will register a double boost, so it'll give you the speed as like it's almost like 4 times the amount of speed you would, and you can launch like super far distance, get crazy amount of air. But yeah, so now we're moving into the second world. This is Bomb Beach. So you're gonna notice a timer up in the right. So in certain levels of this game, you are actually being timed, and you have to either collect clocks to refill that time, or you have to deliver NPCs, like in Crazy Taxi, to keep your timer going. Good thing about the speedrun is that because of the routes, we'll probably never ever even get close to running out of time. And every time you collect a cog, you get 5 seconds anyways. So as long as you keep on moving and collecting cogs, your chances of running out of time is very, very small. So in this level, there's actually going to be bombs, and they will chase down your taxi, and they are very homicidal. They will follow you to the ends of the earth just to try to explode on you, but they're actually useful for blowing up like those yellow blocks that you saw. And there's actually a move called a bomb boost, where if you put a bomb behind your vehicle and then you have it line up behind you, you can actually get a huge boost of air and climb up to like much higher areas than you normally would be able to. So right there, I just kind of showed off that this game actually has coyote time. So even if you drive off a ledge, as long as you do your whip-a-wheel in a certain amount of frames, you can actually keep your double bounces and get really far distances by abusing the coyote time. Ooh, I got turned around. Not what I meant to do. So right here, we're going to lead this bomb over to this stack so it can blow it open. There's going to be a cog in here. Try to squeeze between these buildings. So that NPC I just ran over, that kind of brings up a good point, is the composer to the video game. So every single team member on the dev team, aka Panic Arcade, their whole team is made into NPC. You can find them inside of the levels. Now the composer, though, I think has the most cameos in the level. You'll find him because he's always carrying a saxophone with him. Even though if you talk to him inside Granny's hub world, he says he doesn't like saxophone. Alright, moving on to the third world. So this is actually the hub area of the world. It's called Granny's Hub Island. It's owned by Morio's grandmother. But we're going to come in here and we're going to do some cogs. So this is actually a new route that was formulated a couple days ago. So we were usually going out the front entrance, but now we go out the back entrance to the lab. And we collect the cogs that we used to in a backwards way now. So I should have been able to ramp up here, but I messed up the ramp. This game is still actually being routed because some of the tricks that we found, like Killer found a new trick that I'll be showing off about midway through the run that completely changed how we look at the game. So really excited to see the future. So this little robot guy right here is called Robot Morio, or Moriotron, and he is a checkpoint loader. So if you have a checkpoint, he will always send you there. If you don't have a checkpoint, he will send you to his favorite checkpoint, as he says. And so we use them to get around some of the maps much quicker, such as Granny's Island and Pizza Time, which we will get to. So another huge route change up that happened was we used to go to the back of this island, and there was a bodybuilder that was in the water that we would pick up and we would deliver around the island. But now we don't do that because we found out there was 4 cogs in the upcoming world that were actually just a little bit faster. So once again, new route change. Also, I'm kind of messing up my movement. A lot of these ramps, I should be able to just grab the cogs, but as I said, sometimes it's a little jank. Okay, so right here is a new trick that I found. Hopefully it works. Got it. Okay. So what you have to do is you have to boost, and you have to extend your boost out to like it's like almost last frame, and then you have to do a side flip as you're falling, Now, the thing about the side flip is if you mistime it and you don't hit it on the exact time it refreshes, your car will just honk and you'll just hit the ground and you'll waste a little bit of time. Alright, so now we're moving into Gym that has the best soundtrack in the entire game. Or I guess the best song. So good. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes remixed into a workout track. Come on, it's amazing. Also, there's Ultra Chad right there. He tells you that to make sure that you get the best gains possible, you also need to have a leg day. Remember, work on your legs if you want to be the ultimate Chad. So in this level, it looks like there would actually be RNG because of the way the platforms move. But because we can do air cancels, there's actually no RNG in this level, and there's no cycles. We are able to skip every single one of them as long as you stick to the route and you get your air cancels perfectly. Alright, so that's the last cog. We're going to get a level, it's going to say new level unlocked, and we're going to head right back to Granny's Island for the last cog, and then we're going to head to Arcade. So right here, this ramp is very hit or miss, but you can actually launch yourself into the law office in one single jump. But I actually just missed the building entirely, which is crazy. Things happen. Alright, so that's the last cog we're grabbing Granny's, and now we're gonna make our way into the fifth world, because we just did Gym, and this is Arcade. So in the demo, this actually used to be my least favorite level, but the devs actually went through and they reworked the entire world, and they took out the timer and they kind of condensed some of the mini games. So if you don't train your legs, why do you even go to the... I mean, as a runner and someone who likes to run marathons, I agree. I'm all about my leg. I don't understand. It's all about the leg. Alright, so in this world, there's a lot of mini games. So I have to do like bowling. I have to do like bumpers and stuff like that. I have to click a bunch of buttons to make sure that I can open up like these little like pathways. Now the thing is though, is because we can ramp everywhere, we're going to be skipping a lot of like the button presses. We're going to be trying to avoid that because every time you press a button, it kind of pauses your game for a second to register the button press. So, nice, that was good. I actually got the cog, and I got the bumper skip. So right here, our goal is to not hit the bumpers because they knock you around everywhere, and it wastes like 2 seconds, so we do not want to do that. As we leave that area, you're going to want to line up on a fence, and you're going to point your car up so you can get yourself a nice little ramp. As long as the object is somewhat circular, or I guess in a cylinder shape, you can actually position your car onto it to where you can actually ramp off of it. So I use that rail to get a lot of distance, so I can make it over here, so I can get this strike. If you end up hitting the bowling pins yourself and not with the bowling ball, the game will call you a cheater and it will not give you the cog. So you have to make sure that you actually hit the pins with the bowling ball. So same thing right here. I'm going to go up to this button, do a little cancel, it'll give me the strike, and then I'm going to do a little hop to get on top of this rail so I can make my way across. Oh, okay, well, for some reason, the game did not register that I was on the ground. I have no idea why, but it did not. So it did not give me my reset on my ability. So I just fell to my death. Which happens sometimes. So what my goal right there was to do was I was trying to slide off of the pink blocks and then do a side flip so I could do a cancel and I could make it over to that last block and grab it in midair. So this is also another new thing in the game. Somebody found out a way to manipulate, I don't know which runner it was, but they found out a way to manipulate these missiles to where you can actually use them. Well, I just messed up really, really bad. Oh my god, I am butchering this. Okay, so you can actually use these missiles and maneuver them to these boxes instead of taking the missiles on the other side of this area. So shout out to whoever found that out, because it's a time save. As long as you don't mess up like I just did. Alright, and this is the last cog of Arcade Panic. And we are moving into pizza time. Uh-oh, we got a bot in chat. Gotta love it. Alright, pizza time. So I actually love this world. Very colorful. I like the movement in this level. So this one's actually very short. But it's really fun because of how short it is and the burst that you'll get. So in this level, your goal is to skip every one of the NPC and Pizza Lord, or Pizza King, and gather all of the loose standing gears. So this level has gone through many different iterations. So like right here, we used to never go this way, but Killer found out it was faster to grab this cog and then hit this gas pump right here to save yourself some time. So I'm going to hit that, and then I'm going to take this ramp, and it's going to give me just enough air to make it on top of this oven. And I can actually bounce and get enough distance to cross that. It's really nice how much this level has changed. So I'm going to do another super boost right here. I did not mean to get that height, though. Alright, Moriotron, because I didn't have a checkpoint, they're actually going to teleport me to the middle of the level, which is perfect. Funny enough, there is another checkpoint in this level, and that Moriotron I just passed sends you to that checkpoint, while the further one sends you to the city. I'm really glad that the devs didn't make them send you to the same checkpoint, because some of these skips would not be possible. What category? So we have any percent, we have 100%, we have all collectibles, we have all bunnies, and we have 220 gears. So there's actually a lot of categories in this game. This is any percent, and then I also run all collectibles as well. And if you mean like what genre the game is, it's a 3D platformer collectathon. Just so I don't mix up your question. Also, I can't believe I just messed that up. So right here is the newest clip, and I have to position myself on this wall, and then, well, I messed up because it pushed me back out. I have to do a side flip, and I have to line myself up to where I can clip into this wall. Got it. Okay. So that is called City Clip. Now, instead of taking the spiked hallway or turning around and doing a bunch of ramps to get up to this point, Killer found a way to hit the wall at an angle, and it allows you to clip straight through and get right into City. It saves about 14 seconds over the actual route, maybe like 10 to 14 seconds, something like that, and you can go head straight into City. So I actually just made a new route for this level while practicing for this marathon. So we grab this old man, and we usually head to the gas pump, but I found that you can actually just jump up here and grab these two cogs at the same time, and then just continue down the normal route by hitting this gas pump and then going into this tunnel. So I end up grabbing 2 extra cogs pretty fast, which is like really nice. We used to grab another passenger and then head over to the gas pump, but I was watching the run and I was like, there's got to be a way to save more time. Here it is. So in this world, your goal is to deliver a bunch of NPCs to their locations for gears, and then there's also a monkey that's referenced to King Kong, that he has a hemorrhoid, and you have to drive your taxi up his butt. I'm not even kidding. And you have to pop his hemorrhoid to get a gear. Okay, I am messing up my hops over here. Alright, so now I have this guy in my taxi. My goal is to deliver them, and then we're almost done with this city. This is an indie game. This was developed by Panic Arcade and published by Those Awesome Guys. It was released in April, but yeah, it's an indie game and one I highly recommend to anybody who likes N64 games or platformers in general. Okay, so we're almost done with city. My goal right here is to keep this guy in my taxi as I finish grabbing the rest of the cogs. So this jump right here is so finicky that sometimes you can get such good ramps. You can actually make it to this water tower in one hop. And then sometimes what just happened to me happens and then you get stuck on things and yada yada yada. Oh yeah, the indie market's amazing. Alright, so we're going to drop this guy off. I'm going to grab the last NPC, and once we drop them off, we'll only have 4 more worlds left. Alright, so I'm going to do 2 side flips onto this tree, and then I'm going to do a side flip into a cancel to get myself up here with a little bit distance. And there we go. Final cog of city. So now we're moving in to crash test. So this level is different than every single level you've seen so far, and the reason that is because instead of having a back view, it's going to be a top-down view, and it plays like one of those old-school RC racer games where like you would have a top view and you use your analog to drive around instead of your triggers. So in this world, you cannot jump, you can only ramp, you cannot super boost, and your driving, wow, I cannot believe I just failed that. Your driving mechanics are completely different. It's the only world that actually does this. But because of a runner named Really Huge Fart, they found a way to make rail boosting consistent in this camera view. So instead of doing the route that was intended, because you know, speedrunning, Really Huge Fart found a way to make it to where this level is just boosting everywhere and getting nothing but hops off of rails and skipping pretty much the majority of the level. So like right here, you would normally have to go a whole different path, but I'm going to bounce into this rail, boost into it, and now I can use it as a ramp to get to like certain areas. So how you do this trick is the moment you ram your car into the gate, you'll see a little bit of white appear. And if you keep holding the direction of the gate and then boost, you'll always climb the gate. And then you can just use it as a ramp. And that just allows us to get around this level so much easier than intended. This used to be the worst and hardest level in the entire run, but now it actually is, I wouldn't say easy, but it's definitely not the hardest. That goes to the next level. Even that jump looks scary, but it's actually not that bad. Alright, we are almost done with crash test. I'm going to hit this railing one last time, get a nice little rail hop, and then I'm going to boost my way over. And so the point of this level was that there's a female taxi that you're trying to gain affection. And she doesn't like taxis that hop or jump. You're trying to prove to her that you can get all the way through this level without hopping or jumping to win her affection. And yeah, we just did it. Even though we hopped and ramped and did all that nonsense, she doesn't need to know, right? What she doesn't know doesn't hurt her. Still loves us. Alright, now on to the next level. So this is considered the hardest level of the entire run. You are going into Morio's subconscious. And in this level, there is a giant Morio in the middle that shoots laser beams at your taxi. If you stop moving even for a second, you will be obliterated by those lasers and you'll have to go back to your checkpoint. So our goal is to never stop moving. Because like I said, if you stop moving, you will get laser beamed. Like, as you can see how close it gets to you every single time. So the goal is that every time the screen blinks, that is a warning that the laser's about to go off. So you better get to moving the moment you either hear the noise, it's kind of like a dink noise, or if you see the blink. But we've come up with a route that allows us to keep consistently moving, so we don't actually get lasered, and it's such a blessing. But sometimes the route doesn't go the way you'd like right now. Also, rest in peace Toriyama. I'm gonna stop for a second. Look at Goku. You gotta love it. It's Goku Morio. Alright, anyways, let's continue with the run. Rest in peace Toriyama. You are amazing. Alright, and we are off to grab another cog, and we're gonna turn around. So now usually, if I wouldn't have stopped to look at Goku Morio, I would have enough time to grab that cog, and Morio would be shooting a laser beam. And instead of going back to Robot Morio, I would just get hit with the laser beam, and it would instantly reset me at the check. It's like the only death you actually want in this level. Alright, so we are done with Morio's mind, and we're moving into Observatory. So this level... anybody who's ever been in my stream can vouch that this level used to give me aneurysms, because the rooftops are made of butter, and so when you hit the rooftops, your taxi immediately starts sliding off of them. So your options are to use this propeller hat, which allows you to do a hop like that. And when you do a side flip into a propeller bounce, it actually turns your car back onto its wheels, which is exactly what you want. Oh my goodness, actually I just got that. Because I'm sorry, I'm trying to focus on the ramps. Level make. Otherwise, if you do a regular hop, your taxi is upside down. And if you hit these rooftops upside down, you're more than likely going to slide off them. So you can actually abuse the propeller to get yourself straight up, and so you don't slide. Sorry, I was like tripping over my words because my fear was I was going to start... I was talking about sliding on the rooftops, and I was like, no, I'm going to start sliding on the rooftops. Also, shout out to another runner. Once again, really bad with names, but this was actually just re-optimized as a level. And we used to actually go through the front door, but now we go through the back door of this area, which is actually faster because instead of having to climb, you're just dropping down. And it saves about 10 seconds. So, super awesome. Alright, so we're moving on to the final two worlds, and we're about to do one of the biggest skips in the entire game. So, this is called HQ skip, or spider climb. Oh yeah, there we go. Props to Forrest for that. Thank you so much, Forrest. So, Killer7151 in chat is one of the other runners for this game, and is one of the people that optimize the run. Okay, so right here is called HQ skip, or spider climb, and our goal is to get into this corner, and we're going to boost, and every time we boost, we're going to flip a wheel every time we blink white, and then we're going to double click it, and we're going to do a hop. And we're going to do that all the way up this building to skip this level, because there's nothing in this level that we need. I don't know who found this, but huge shout out to who found HQ skip. I found out how to get to the back of the HQ, and then they just decided to go crazy with this, and they found a way to climb up the walls. So there you go, that's HQ. So instead of doing the entire level, we just skip the entire level by going over the building into the trigger that loads us into the final level, which is the moon. Also, another shout out to Killer for optimizing this level. So this level used to be like 30 some odd seconds getting in. Now I'm bad at I was 1 minute off a world record. So for being in a marathon and only losing a minute while trying to explain everything, that was super solid. Now, something I do want to point out before I, completely end the run is the developer to the game had an animal. It was a bunny, and it was its favorite bunny, and the game was dedicated to Arthur the rabbit. So I'm going to stop right here. I dedicate this game to my bunny Arnold. She was the sweetest bun I could have ever had, and I miss her so much. So shout out to Arthur for being the reason this game exists. So yeah, that was Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom. Thank you all so much for being here for this showcase. I hope you all enjoyed the game. I would love for more runners to join in. We have a ton of new runners, so please come on in, give it a shot. We have tons of categories. Shout out to Killer, shout out to Yoda, shout out to the entire taxi community, Panic Arcade, and those awesome guys for making this reality. Themeathon, thank you so much to the staff, and thank you to the viewers. You are all incredible people, and that was my run, and I think it's time for me to bounce out. So thank you all so much. Have a good one, and good luck to all the future runners.